Hello and welcome to this video where we're going to be reviewing some ads today. And as you can see, I am not reviewing ads alone today. I have a very special guest.
It's me.
It's you.
Who am I?
Who are you? That's a great question.
I'm Barry Hott. Good to see you, Alex.
Good to see you too, man. About time that you got on the channel. It's been long overdue, but I can't wait to sit down and break down some ads. And we're going to break them down. We're going to tear them down and offer our suggestions on how we would improve these ads.
Let's do it.
Okay, great. I want to start off with this ad that we made from Overpop that does feature you in it.
Oh.
Let's play the ad through and then we'll give our thoughts.
Super popcorn. It is way beyond like anything you've ever had before. Wasabi?
But is it not like the same as any other popcorn?
No, it is not like any other popcorn, Alex. It is just better.
Show it.
So we're just gonna put in what we want. What we want is a big portion, so we're not gonna throw that. We're gonna put the lid on. We're gonna put it in for probably 2.5 minutes. Oh, popcorn. It's gonna be hot, but it's worth it. I'm gonna show you. And then check this out. Ooh, that's perfect. Try some.
You want me to try it?
Yeah.
That's good.
That's a delicate balance, and they've done that well.
Popcorn.
Cool down. Nah, that's popcorn. No, that's a mistake.
No, man. Pretty good.
Really good.
If you're still watching this, click the ad now so you can try it for yourself. opopop.com.
That's crazy. That's crazy that that's the winner. And like, also I know how many failures went into getting to this one. And I also like, the beautiful thing is I still want to keep iterating on this. Like we talked about this before, like I can't stand the music in this.
Yeah.
And the music's a whole portion of the ad, like a total vibe. So like going back to that and like removing the music, changing the music, like that's a whole slate of edits that we can just do. Just one hypothesis that we can take to that ad and make a new ad with it that could perform even better.
Yeah. There's quite a lot of things I have to say about this ad. The first thing I said, the reason that I do love it is because of how organic it feels. Like,
oh yeah,
like you look at that and you think to yourself, oh, there's no way that they've gone to that amount of work to produce. Like this can't be an ad.
Yeah.
Like it must be some people who are genuinely taste testing. And that was the big thing. Like, we actually were genuinely taste testing popcorn for the first time.
Almost all of that was not filmed to be like intentionally an ad.
Yeah.
It was kind of just like us literally setting up. And because we're a bunch of creators, people just started shooting it. And then I, as an ad man, just kind of started making content as I noticed the phones were recording me.
Yeah.
And like, then we just had people genuinely like coming over to that smelled popcorn and wanted to eat popcorn.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty insane. Like that's why I love it. There's actually so like there's so many reasons that I don't like this ad, or so many reasons that I think that we can actually improve on it.
Yeah.
One thing that I love to do, and we've done quite a lot on this ad, is if you watch the ad through, like oftentimes when we're making ads, if you watch the ad through, there are so many points in the ad that you could just trim. Like you can just start, like you could be watching the ad, let's start the ad from here. Right, let's try starting the ad from here.
Yeah.
There's a couple of points in this ad. I think there was like the reaction where you had to taking out the popcorn. If I go to
I love the shake.
Yeah,
I
the
love
shake.
that.
Like you could very easily take that and just put it as the hook.
Yeah.
And like there's oftentimes when we watch our ads back, like 3 or 4 clips in the ad that very easily could be a hook. And you know that could be just the way that someone says something or the visual that they use or the line that they say, just the way that they say it. Like that could resonate with people on a different level. Yeah. And maybe it doesn't have an impact on performance, but maybe it also does. So if you're looking to make a ton of variations to ads, like that's one way that you can quickly
but like I would then think like me like a year ago would have said, like that's a good hook. Maybe it is. I mean, I'd still maybe say like that might be a good hook. But now I'm thinking like, I don't think it's telegraphing enough about what that is or how that's valuable to someone. Like, I don't think that if you just looked at that shot, I don't think it telegraphs that this is a snack or that this is popcorn or that any reason for our target audience to pay attention. I just don't think it's there because it's just like some weird moment like that isn't really relevant to what we're trying to put in the rest of the ad. So I just don't know if that would work. And I'd like to think it doesn't. Like I think you'd have to show the popcorn going in maybe, or that maybe the end result. Like, yeah, I just don't think me shaking it alone is a good enough hook.
Interesting.
Yeah, I would try it just to be clear. I would still
yeah.
try it because like I can't know until I know.
Yeah.
And then that's how I find out. But like having done this for a long time now, I'm like, yeah, it's fun. And maybe it would do a good enough job of getting like really broad attention
Right.
that then would keep it for long enough. Because maybe they're like, what is that? And he's clearly in front of him. I'm clearly in front of a microwave.
Yeah.
So I'm clearly in a kitchen. So maybe people make that connection enough. So maybe that's enough.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I guess it goes back to that question that, like, at least I spend a lot of time thinking about, like, do you want to speak to a potentially smaller audience, but who are higher intent?
Yeah.
Or do you want to do something like, you know, the reaction hook that's probably going to appeal to more people, but like a lower proportion of those people might be potential buyers?
I don't, there isn't a right answer to that. I don't have the answer to that. But it's about trying both. Like fundamentally, like, because we just can't know. You can look at like hook metrics and see like, did this get more attention or less attention? But in reality, that doesn't tell you if it's the right attention or the wrong attention. Like that's qualitative. Yeah. That's not quantitative at all. So it doesn't even matter what we think because, well, it matters a little bit what we think, but it doesn't really because we just can't know what's actually happening and what's actually working and why. But we do take guesses and we do make assumptions and we do have biases. And I think that's the beauty of what we do. And I think why, us and you and our team are good at this, like, is because we're not just trying to manipulate the hook rate up, right? Like, you shouldn't just be trying to increase your hook rate. It's about like, okay, the hook rate on these is different. Why? Yeah. Right? Like, especially it doesn't make sense to compare two unrelated assets because they're just going to have two unrelated hooks. But if you can compare two similar assets with similar hooks, or maybe different hooks, but similar assets otherwise, you can start to make better hypotheses about or assumptions about why an ad is doing better or worse from a sales perspective, because at the end of the day, this is about selling. Yeah. Than just getting attention or keeping attention. Because if it's the wrong attention for the wrong reasons, who cares? It's not going to sell anything. So that's our job.
There's so much to unpack there. Like, also just thinking about how, like, the way that you speak in your messaging, like especially in the hooks, dictates the audience it is going to resonate with, which dictates the customers that you will bring on board from it. Yep. We had another example with a client who were finding that like our CPAs were dropping. So like from a sales perspective, we were doing well because we focused on like broader issues, right? It was a supplement brand, but we were previously focused on like very specific issues, went broader and started talking about energy levels and bloating and stuff like that. CPAs dropped, but then when we did analysis on the back end, actually found that like we were bringing in lower value, lower quality customers over long. So it actually didn't make sense to go for the customers who were cheaper. And that's because of the messaging that we use to them on the front end. So like there's so many things.
That's a way harder thing to calculate.
It is. But it's like, it's just to prove the point of like, it really does matter what your in is to someone, like completely dictates who that's going to resonate with. And that dictates what customers are going to come and buy from your ads, which I just think is like a fascinating just situation. Yeah.
I mean, it's all of this is like this is like such deep relevance, like such a wild spectrum that like, I mean, I feel like so few marketers, advertisers are thinking on this level. Sorry to toot our own horns, but like, I think this is really the stakes now is like really thinking when you're getting people from that first frame until until like what their LTV is. Yeah. Right. That's what we literally have to be thinking about is how do we get customers that are not just going to buy, like not just get people's attention. We need to get the right people's attention and not just get like people to be customers. We want to get good customers in. Like there's so much to this that we have to get right. It's so much pressure. But it's also like, it's so rewarding when we do get it right. And it's so fun. And it's great to be able to try and fail and keep trying and keep recycling and retrying stuff like we did here in order to be able to get something. And like still knowing that there's other life to breathe into that concept, into that content. Like that content, like we still haven't even taken that piece and like, I don't think we have taken that and like infused it with other concepts.
Yeah.
Like, so, you know, there's so much more that can be done with that piece of content that we still haven't even done. And that's the second best top performer in the last 30 days and has been the top performer for the last several months. So like there's so much more that can be done there.
Yeah. Yeah. Fascinating. All right. We should probably move on to ad 2 because that was a meaty discussion. All right. Let's check out this ad that we made for licorice.com.
This is licorice.com, and I keep hearing that this is the tastiest licorice around. Are you seeing how insane this licorice is? Oh my God. It's soft, it's chewy, it's the perfect mix of sweetness and freshness. There's over 50 gourmet flavors from around the world. I got sour blue raspberry, sour strawberry, sour watermelon. I got black licorice. I don't even like black licorice, but I love licorice.com black licorice. Other brands, they only have like 2 flavors, black and red, and they're plasticky and taste like chalk. This has over 42,000 5-star reviews, so I had to try it out. This makes the perfect gift for any sweets lover or licorice lover in your life. And it's got guaranteed fresh delivery in as little as 2 days. But don't take my word for it. Go to licorice.com. Find out for yourself. Buy all 50 flavors.
Buy all 50 flavors is funny. That's fun.
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's talk ugly ads. One thing that I love about this ad, and we spoke about this earlier when we said, you know, watching the ad back and look for different points that you could start it from.
Okay. I'm very glad you said that.
You know,
because I was already going to say, what I'm going to say.
I know you're going to say.
Yeah, say it.
I mean, so when people are, I mean, I'm just completely ripping this from your presentation last week.
I'm thrilled.
When people are scrolling through their feed, like they are making the decision as to whether they are going to consume your piece of content or not before they've even like fully scrolled up.
Sure.
So even in like, this is why thumbnail testing, like, like you speak so much about it.
Yeah.
Even in that thumbnail, like that top 1/3, when you're scrolling, like, and you see the top 1/3 of the next piece of content, people are already starting to make mental calculations as to, is this a piece of content I want to consume or not? Now, the thing is, with most like UGC ads or with most ad creative, the first thing that you see is a creator or someone's face. Problem is, no one knows, or more importantly, no one cares about those people.
I just want to stop you here and say that anyone watching this, like, this is a piece that I don't like to give away for free. Like, I'm happy where you can give it away.
Behind a paywall.
No, it's fine. We can put this out there. But like, I just want the audience to know, like, this is one of those things I generally do gatekeep. So like, we can share.
You want exclusive.
But like, yeah, this is one of my like kind of secret tricks I don't like to give out.
Well, sorry, Barry, and you're welcome, everyone. But anyway, as I was saying, like, this is like, I don't know or care about this person if I just see a person on the screen. So why would I give 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds of my time to listen to what they have to say? Whereas if we can think about how we can make this uniquely visual or like attention grabbing, or do something that's not to do with like, hey, I'm a guy that you've never seen or heard from before.
Yeah.
Here's something that's going to be interesting to you or going to benefit you.
Yeah.
This is why you should watch.
Yeah.
And what he's done here really well is he's shown this, like, licorice doesn't usually look like that. Like candy doesn't usually look like that.
A lot of things don't look like that. I mean,
Right.
but also that I would argue people would maybe see that and think like, oh, this is going to be about drugs. Like that's a
Well, maybe.
that's a weed gummy maybe. So yeah.
So just being able to, like, that visual, I love that. I mean, if we haven't already, I'd definitely be testing that as an alternate hook, holding things up to the camera or just doing things that are uniquely weird or visual.
Yeah.
Something that's going to stop someone in their tracks rather than just, hey, I'm another person on the internet that you don't know, and there's no reason for you to listen to me.
Yeah, definitely. Like if your first instinct is like to say like, hey, I'm Barry, like don't do that. Like nobody, unless you are an actual celebrity. But even then, like, you don't need to introduce yourself. Like, okay, you can say that and put that on film and just cut that off. Like, for the sake of an ad, that doesn't need to be in the beginning. Maybe you could put that like 10 seconds in if it's important context. You say, hey, I'm Barry, the founder of this. Like, if you want to do that later, okay, that's fine. But like, it's probably not good for the hook. In fact, I'll say it's definitely not good for the hook. So here, like, just play the beginning again for a sec, because like, this is when I look at this, I'm like, there's a couple things. Yeah, stop it. So this is licorice.com is interesting to me. That's very interesting to me. I kind of like using this hook, like saying this as something.
Yeah.
A la Doug DeMuro from YouTube, like one of the biggest, if not the biggest car YouTuber.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things is like, you don't know who that is, right?
No, I don't.
I love that. Like, I love that, it's 2024 and like someone who I love following on YouTube and like is very popular. Most people don't know. There's fundamentally most people don't know. But every video he starts in front of the car or like next to the car or whatever, and he says, this is the 1994 Toyota Supra, whatever it is, right? And it's like a big this, and there's something about that is attention grabbing and is kind of special, and I do want to play with that a little bit more. So starting with this is kind of interesting. I also think it often telegraphs that you're going to sell someone something, you're going to tell someone something in a piece of content like this. So I don't know if it's great, but like this is licorice.com. I don't know. It might still feel like an ad too immediately, but the good news is, as you were saying, I would trim this to start at the next, not the next point. So he says, this is licorice.com. And I keep hearing this is tasty. I would start it right here.
There you go.
Are you seeing
How insane this licorice
how insane this licorice is?
Right.
That's an incredible hook, visually and like storytelling wise. Holy cow! Between like that shot and his face and his hair and his beard and the lighting, I'm like, I don't know how someone could see that and not keep watching.
Yeah.
Like someone who this is relevant to, especially.
Yeah.
But like a lot of people are going to look at that and be like, first of all, they're probably going to think this is drugs.
Yeah.
Sorry to say.
Which it might help us.
Maybe. But like, yeah, that's really thumb stopping. And relevant thumb stopping. That's fantastic. It's really colorful. That looks like so good. I really want to eat that.
Yeah. When you're like, I am always hesitant to bring up the brand or the product in the hook for the same reason that no one cares about these people.
Yeah.
No one cares about like us or our brand. So
with food products, showing the product quickly.
Yeah. I mean, not exclusively, but like generally if you're saying like this is X or like, I just got my thing from Y, like I immediately think if I'm watching, product ad scroll.
Yeah.
That's what I think. So if you can do it, but like if you're gonna bring up a brand or a product at the start of the video, like you better have a damn good reason to.
Yeah.
Like you better tell me, like, if you're gonna tell me like give me a benefit, give me why I should keep watching.
Right.
In this, he says, "Are you seeing how insane this licorice is?" Like that's a reason for me to keep watching.
Yeah.
If you're gonna mention the brand name, like give me a reason as well that I'm gonna keep watching other than this brand that I don't know.
There's a bigger point I want to share here that you just kind of touched on that's really, really important. When we're making ads and editing ads and thinking about how to improve ads, we're often doing it in a way where we're really asking ourselves the questions of like, how do we make this work for more people? And what a lot of, I think, other advertisers get caught up in this trap of is they only are looking at how do we make this ad like our other high performing ads? And they're often their highest performing ads are just ads that are really good at capitalizing on existing intent and existing like action. And when we're so focused on like bringing in more people, making this more relevant to get more people into the funnel, we're not trying to say like, okay, how do we just talk about how great this product is and how great the unboxing experience is? Because like those are things that matter more to people who are already more familiar with this category, this product, and this brand.
Right.
And we're generally making stuff that makes more sense to people who are not yet aware of maybe the category and maybe not aware of the brand and maybe not aware of the product. But still, in doing that, by showing like this in this way, it works for, I would say that hook and the rest of that ad works at all of those levels. I'd rather make something that makes sense for people who don't yet know or care about this brand, category, product, whatever, than make stuff that only makes sense to people who know about the brand, know about the product.
Let's take a quick moment to talk about this creator. He is like not your average person. And I think that there's
interesting look. Yeah.
I mean, there's something to be said for that. Like in a game where we are literally talking about like milliseconds and like fractions of a second to get someone's attention.
Mm-hmm.
Just having someone, and I'm not saying like base your creator sourcing strategy around finding weird people, but just like having someone who's like in the same way that the visual of the licorice is different, having someone that just looks a little different. Maybe they've got a unique feature, a hair color, a beard, or like something with them that's just a little bit different. Might buy you that extra fraction of a second to get someone to listen to your message. And then if they can do that, then they can possibly watch your ad and then click through to the page. Being
aware of that is just the bare like baseline.
Yeah.
Like just have that in your head. Just like, because so many, you can just ad concepts can just fail because someone's just boring. Someone just looks boring. Someone isn't relevant to more people. So like, it's just keep that in your mind. It's not going to necessarily make or break your ad, but it's another piece of the relevance spectrum, like how this person looks, who that is relevant to, older, younger, different demographics. I often talk about like, just to have it in your head to think about like, people in America on the East Coast, West Coast, North, South, Midwest, Florida, whatever, like there's different accents, there's different looks, there's, that's just one thing. And then there's ages, and then there's genders, and then there's like interests and relevance. Like, there's so many things.
Yeah.
And not every ad is going to be relevant to every person, and not every person in every ad is going to be relevant to every person. So, you can't solve that flawlessly or perfectly, but what you can do is make ads with diversity and think, just be thoughtful about that and think, how do we make ads that are more relevant to more different people? And it's not necessarily just about beating other ads. It's about making ads that are more scalable or scale to other audiences.
Yeah.
Not just that it's not linear better. It's kind of like blobby, overlapping. What's better is just like, what's more scalable to these people? So it's really way more complicated than we often look at it, because we often just look at it in terms of like, all right, what's spending the most? That's the best. And it's linear in that way. It's like, here's the top spender, here's the second top spender, here's a third. But like, that's not really how it works. There's like overlap and weird, relevance quadrants and spectrums that like determine like why some of those are getting more spend than others and why those are performing better than others. So
yeah. So to conclude, it depends.
Yes.
Is the answer.
Yeah.
That's the answer. I think that's where we'll wrap up today's video. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Barry, tell the people where they can find you.
Find me at Adcrate.
Find him at Adcrate.
Just Google Barry Hott. I'm on the internet. I'm on Twitter.
There we go.
I'm on YouTube.
Go and
LinkedIn.
chase him down. Follow
I got
him.
a newsletter that if you hate newsletters, I've got the newsletter for you because I don't send it very often.
That's very true. When you do, they are bangers.
I only drop serious bangers once in a while when I feel like it. And if you need some help with media buying, creative, whatever, I do some consulting. You can find me, just Google me. You'll find me somewhere.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Oh, and eat rotten.
Make sure you do that.
Eatrotten.com. Get
Thanks
some
for
gummy
watching,
worms.
and I will see you in the next one.